So in this particular video, we're going to give Bolt a bit of a test drive. Now Bolt, if for people who haven't seen it before, is kind of an AI tool that's going to allow you to build full stack web applications. Now, what I've done for the purpose of this particular video is I had a look at it on a free trial, and of course, it gives you a certain number of daily tokens that you can use to kind of build out an application. But I've noticed that very, very quickly those tokens get depleted until you kind of need to wait for the next day in order to carry on with your project build. You really do not get very far. So for the love of the channel, I've gone and subscribed to their very basic service that provides like 10 million tokens, and that should be enough to build a number of different applications per month. Now, I've had a little bit of a tinker around, a little bit of a play around just to kind of get myself a little bit familiar with what's going on, but I've never built anything that is half decent or a proper application, and that is what we're going to do in this particular video. So what I'm going to do, just to set the scene, is I'm going to create an application which is going to be useful to myself. Now, as a YouTube content creator, I like to apply chapters to my YouTube videos. Now, what I need to do is I need to take a kind of like the transcript of the video. I need to pass it into my web application. I would like it to do a little bit of ChatGPT work behind the scenes. So call out to an API service, to, take all of that transcript, kind of pick out the key parts of that transcript and return that back to my application. I also want to have the ability to kind of create my own sort of chapters in there as well and make changes to it. So a fairly decent application, and let's give Bolt a run for its money. So what I've done is I've created a prompt here, and it says, I'm a YouTube long form content creator, and I would like you to create a modern web application for me. So blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to sort of go into the detail here. I'll kind of just explain what the application is going to do. These are the kind of the formats of a sort of chapters of a particular video. Now, what a creator would do is they would copy these chapters into the description of their YouTube video. And of course, the intelligence of YouTube will then pick that up and allow users to click on those to then sort of navigate through the various parts of the video. What I want to make sure it does though is I want it to pick out key parts of the transcript and kind of have in there to make sure it's more meaningful. So let's see how this application develops. Let's just hit the start button here to kind of get cracking. And what Bolt will do is it will kind of move into this kind of this pretty flash looking UI. Actually, it's quite nice actually, and you can see here that it's going away. It's kind of doing its thing. It's creating the code for me. Now, of course, you know my channel is all about no code. I'm not interested in the technology stack that it selects, but of course if you want to be a little bit more particular about it and say, oh, okay, I'll create an Angular application or Vue or something like that, I'm sure it can do that, but I'm just going to let it carry out its activities completely by default, because you know I don't want to get into the code. I don't want to be making changes to this. If I want to enhance this application, which we will do, of course, we'll extend it, I'm going to want to do it purely by adding in the prompts here on the left-hand side. So right off the bat, it seems that it's generated a load of code for me. I've got a bit of a white screen at the moment. I'm kind of hoping I'm going to see the start of what looks like an application. Okay, that's a good start. YouTube chapter marker. Okay, that's good. It's a fairly decent title here. It's I can type in a timestamp here. So let's just give this a bit of a whirl. So what's going on here? There we go. That's my mistake. Let's just put in some junk data here. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we've got, I don't know, another little time in there. Just make sure that's adding it in there. That's pretty good. And I'm assuming I can now copy this, and that's going to be to the clipboard. So that's a good start. I think this is looking a fairly decent application. So it certainly looks functional, but let's kind of extend it a little bit further using the power of the prompting. So let's add a bit of a sort of a light and dark mode theme. So add a light and dark mode option. So let's let it do its thing. Thinking about it. Okay, so it's quite nice. It gives you pretty much of a nice clue on the left-hand side to exactly what it's doing, and of course it's generating the code here. So it looks like it's creating some components for me, and it's the chapter list. It looks like one thing I've possibly noticed here that I'm wondering whether it's actually rewriting these pages. It's not kind of adding to them, but I guess my only little worry about that is if it's actually recreating the pages every time. I'm hoping that it's going to at least try and retain the context of those pages. I don't want to kind of tell it to do something and then further down the line it kind of removes or takes out kind of what is previously done, but we'll see how that kind of goes. So we'll just let that do its thing and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, looks like it's finishing actually. It's giving us a pretty nice description there of what it's doing. Okay, got a little moon up here. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, let's see if we can change some color schemes on this. So let's update to use the YouTube red color, something like that. So I'm not crazy about the purple color. Let's see. I kind of give it a bit of a basic prompt there in terms of updating that. Let's see how aggressive it goes. Let's see if it hopefully doesn't make it completely red and blind us. But I'm hoping that's should be quite a quick change that it's making. Okay, it looks like the generation is done. Whoa, we got a problem. Okay, that's a good start. Let's have a look and see what it's worked out as the problem. Okay, let's just fix that. Again, I don't need to worry about the detail. Let's let the power of the AI kind of sort that one out. Okay, I've got no idea what it's doing at this particular stage. Again, why should I worry? Why should I care? As long as it works, that's all I'm interested in at this particular stage. Okay, so here we go. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better, isn't it? That's now matched the kind of the theme. So it's certainly picked that up. Oh, I don't know what's happening there. We've got some double colours going on in the text box, but I'm not worried about that. Let's see how that works. Good. Does it delete? Yes, it does. Okay, looking pretty good at this stage. Okay, so one thing I want to do now is now kind of ask it to kind of level up this application a little bit. I want it to kind of allow us to kind of reorder the chapters. So I could create 10 or 20 chapters here, but I want it to kind of reorder them. So let's add a prompt in. Okay, so provide the ability to reorder the chapters. Let's let that do its thing, and then we'll see what the preview looks like. Okay, so just what it's doing, actually, I've just spotted here is obviously including some additional packages. So there's some dependencies now that our application needs. So it's gone away, it's kind of including those dependencies in, it's making sure it's installing them. And I'm kind of hoping that will just naturally just kind of sort of fire up with those dependencies in action. So okay, right, so the prompt is finished on the left-hand side. It looks like the code's been updated, but we're in this state now where the kind of the run is kind of stopped. We're not getting that preview. So here in this particular window down here, we can see some of the commands that it's previously run here. So you can see we're kind of running this kind of dev mode here. So it looks like we need to kind of sort of do this npm run dev. So it looks like it's kind of knocked us out of that. So again, first kind of flag here to kind of to keep an eye on there in the future. When I was playing with this previously, it didn't kind of really happen much at all. But again, I wasn't really doing anything substantial. I was kind of just mucking around with the application. So let's try adding some chapters in. That in. Okay, so we can see we've got this like sort of reorder handle now. So let's see if that. Okay, it doesn't look like it's working for us for whatever reason. I can't seem to reorder. But it looks like we've got some errors on the left hand side. You probably spotted that quicker than I did there. So what's it saying? Okay, so it looks like it's got some problems. Don't worry about it. Let's just go and fix it. Hopefully that could be the reason to why yeah, we go to do with the drag and drop. So that could be the reason to why it's not reordering. Okay, so just added those chapters in now. I can see it's showing another error, but can I reorder? No, it looks like we've got the same problem again. Is it the same stuff? Yeah, it looks like it's having trouble kind of correcting that problem. Let's just try hitting the fix problems again. Let's give it one last chance to get this right. What I might then do if this doesn't work is I might ask it to remove the kind of the reordering functionality, and then maybe just put that back in again just to see if it's got itself in a bit of a mess. Oh boy, things aren't looking particularly good by the looks of it. It looks like it's still not going to work. In fact, we can't even add now. It's completely busted. So remove drag and remove reorder feature. Okay, so reordering has been removed. Let's just see if we could got our functionality back. Yeah, that's better now. Looks at. Okay, so we've got that in there. Let's just try adding it back in, just in case it got itself in a bit of a mess. Okay, provide the ability to reorder chapters. Oh, quite interestingly, it says here, I'll add back the reordering functionality using React Beautiful DND, ensuring proper implementation this time. So it seems to be pretty confident that it made a bit of a mistake previously, and it's now going to try it in a different way this time. So I think what that demonstrates, though, is it's quite nice that it allows you to remove those kind of those features that you kind of add in. So I quite like that. That's quite good. So let's oh boy, look, we've got a problem already. I bet it's exactly the same issue. Oh my gosh, this is not going to work, is it? Can you try a different implementation of the reordering feature using a different dependency? So clearly what it's kind of come up with, it hasn't liked. So let's hopefully swap this out with maybe a different sort of third-party dependency, and hopefully we'll get better luck this time. Okay, so far so good. So I haven't got any errors. Let's add that in. That's 15. Test to add. Now can I reorder? Hey, now we're in business. So look at that. So there we go. There's the second one in this particular video where something's not quite gone right and we've kind of got it to correct itself. So we can now continue this particular sort of feature enhancements to this application. Okay, so let's enhance it then. So I said I need to add in a multi-line text box which allow me to paste in a transcript and then add in a transcribe video button. So let's let it do its kind of its UI enhancements. Of course, it's not going to do anything functional at this particular point, but it's just going to kind of set ourselves up nicely where we can then start again progressively building upon the application to then start to add in the kind of the more intelligent features into the app. Okay, so the UI has been updated. No errors, no problems this time at all. We've now got this transcript box now that's going to allow us now to paste that in here. But of course, we're going to hit the transcribe video button and nothing is going to happen because we've got no intelligence behind it. So let's just quickly create a prompt now that's going to allow us to call out to a third-party API service, which I've created. And really all that is doing is it's taking the text that we paste in here from a video itself, a transcribed video. In fact, I'll show you what that looks like here. So here is one of my videos that I've got on my channel here. I've got show transcript, which shows this content here on the right hand side. You can see here I've copied it. I've just done a kind of a right click here, and I'll show you what that looks like in Visual Studio Code here. If I just pop over to that, if I've got it up running, let's have a look. There it is here. So here's Visual Studio Code, and here is the kind of the transcribed video that I've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of sort of post that to this API. It's a BuildShip API workflow. It's going to use ChatGPT, which is going to kind of analyze all of this. It's going to pull out the most key sort of chapter points, and then it's going to return back a JSON sort of response back that I can then use with inside my Bolt application. So again, there's nothing clever going on there. I could show you what that kind of looks like. If I just pop back here, let's just pop to what BuildShip looks like here. This is the BuildShip workflow. So here it's called transcribe video. It takes in a post here. If I edit this, you can see that I'm passing in this transcript sort of body parameter that contains all of this text. I pass that into ChatGPT. Here's a kind of a basic prompt. It's kind of setting itself up here and explaining what I need it to do and how I would like it to be returned. Here is the sample that I'm passing in, which you just saw there. And then my user prompt is just the transcript itself. That is the raw content I'm passing in. And then all I'm doing here in this particular node, which again is all AI generated. I've done no kind of sort of hand coding here. I've done this all with inside BuildShip. All this is really doing is taking all of the content and it's producing what looks like a JSON response here. So you've got the timestamp, you've got the title, which is going to be kind of the chapter, and then you've kind of got the number of seconds as well at what point that starts. So that's all I'm returning back to my application. So of course I want Bolt to now hook onto this now. Okay, so I've created a prompt here on the left-hand side. When the transcribe video button is pressed, perform a post and pass the transcript using the body parameter called transcript. The transcript must all have the line breaks removed before posting. And that's really important because when you're making that JSON request into the API, you don't want to have any sort of carriage return line feeds in there because it's going to be malformed. It's not going to be it's not going to work correctly. So that all needs to be kind of almost removed. And then of course the REST endpoint will be called transcribe video, which is the one I just showed you, and then of course the API will return back the JSON response. And here's the example. I'll just paste in a little example here. So that's kind of what I'm asking it to do, and I'm hoping that what will happen now is that we'll be pasting that transcript in there. It's going to call out to the API, we'll get the response back. All of the chapters are going to get displayed with all of the values that's come back from that JSON response. So we really are kind of moving this up a gear now, this particular application. So hopefully let's see what that generates, and we'll give it a whirl. Okay, so here we are then, we're in our application. It looks like everything's been created fine for us. I'm just going to swap to the dark mode here because it's hurting my eyes. So let's now paste this transcript in here. So there it is, all passing the button. It's become enabled, which is great. Hit the transcribe. Now, fingers crossed, that is calling out to my API and we should see a response come back, hopefully, which should be all of our chapters. So there it is. Look at that, works perfectly first time. There is the JSON response. There is all of our chapters. It looks like we can reorder these as well, which is pretty smart. That is really great. Of course, I can delete these if I want. I can't make any changes to them though. So let's see if Bolt can sort that out for us. So please allow the user to update the titles of the chapters. Let's let Bolt do its thing and hopefully crack that for us. Okay, here we go again. Let's just transcribe our video. Okay, so here we go. Can I update these? No. Oh, got a bit of an odd one here. I've got 2 zeros, which is a bit weird, but no, I can't. Oh, I've got a little edit button. Just noticed that, a little edit. And we can make changes. This is a test. Look at that. Didn't even notice that. I was expecting to see a kind of a text box here, but now we can actually edit. That is pretty nifty. Not quite sure why we had a bit of an empty one there. That could be just a bit of sort of dodgy JSON response that's coming back. I'll keep an eye on that particular one. So that is looking pretty slick. Can I add in here? Just want to put in a 0100 test. Let's just add that in. Does that happen here? No, it looks like, oh, it's right down the bottom here. So we've got a bit of a reordering problem. So can we sort that one out? Can the chapter list be ordered by time? Okay, let's transcribe the video again. I'm kind of hoping that we should get everything back in the right order. I just would like to be able to add in a manual entry here. Oh, we've got a bit of a problem. Oh my gosh, we got a bit of a problem. Let's see if we can fix that. Yeah, it looks like there's something that is possibly dodgy in the JSON response, perhaps, that is causing a double entry in my chapter list. Let's hopefully see if Bolt can be clever and sort that out. Paste that transcript in there again. I'm just going to go to the top here just to see if I've got anything that's possibly giving it a bit of a confusion. I've got 0, 0, 10. Yeah, that's okay. Let's transcribe. Okay, that looks like it's corrected the problem. So, which is good. It's good. Let's try now adding in now just something at 0100. Just call this test 1. Add. Is it in the right place? It certainly is. It's right there. So the reordering is now sorted out, which is great, of course. As I move these, then the reordering is going to be sort of blitzed, but at least we can do that right off the bat. So that is looking pretty good. So can we make this look a little bit more nicer, the application? So let's try and do a bit more of a UI enhancement. Please, can the UI look more modern with a logo to represent YouTube? So I've not been descriptive there whatsoever. I'm kind of let it kind of go away and come up with its own ideas. Now, of course, I should really probably provide it with a little bit more information in terms of what I'd like to see from an updated UI. But let's just see what it comes up with. Okay, so it's gone away. It's kind of made some changes. I wouldn't say that is award-winning for sure. It's put the transcript on the right-hand side there. Let's just let it do its thing here. Yeah, the add button seems to be now outside of this particular box. Yeah, I'm not quite happy with that. Can I revert the changes that it's made? Oh yeah, look, you can roll back to the checkpoint. Let's do that. Let's revert now. Let's get this back to, well, in fact, it's done it almost instantly straight away. Now, that is a really, really cool feature. So if it all goes horribly wrong during the kind of the creation application, you can roll back to a particular stage. So that is pretty nifty. So that's good. I'm not going to play that that prompt again. I think I'll leave that where it is, and I think that's been a good demonstrator. Okay, so let's try and make this application work a little bit harder. So I just created another prompt here. We're going to add in an embedded video player of the YouTube video and add a text field for the user to paste in the URL. When the URL is pasted, the embedded player should display the video. So let's play that out. Now, it's highly likely that in this particular preview that the video probably won't display. There'll probably be some restrictions there in the preview, so we might need to break this out into Stack Blitz. This up there as well just gives us a different view of our project. And then we can then hopefully then display that in a full browser window and hopefully demonstrate it. But we're going to let it do its creation, and then we're going to extend this even further, because what I'm going to do is I'm then going to try to be a bit more clever. So as the user clicks on the time of each of those chapter points, I want the embedded video player to change to the position in the actual video based on the number of seconds. So somehow I'm going to have to try and explain that. So let's what I'm going to do, let's just flick and get this URL of the video. So I'm just going to take the URL from the browser window there. Let's just paste that in there. And yeah, as I was expecting, we've got that refuse to connect. That's okay. Let's open this up in Stack Blitz. So Stack Blitz is kind of like another kind of view of the world here. It's a more established, more kind of more of a sort of a code editor here. Do all your research on it. The great thing about this, of course, is you can create like you can connect it to like a Git repository, for example. So you can kind of get all of your code kind of more under sort of source control, and then of course you can then deploy that to sort of live services and stuff like that. But for now, we're not going to worry too much about that particular video. We'll come back and do other videos which will talk about deployment. But let's just quickly open this up into another browser window here. So here we are. Let's connect to the project. And I'm just going to paste that in there. We should see the video. That's looking good. So there's a mugshot of myself there. And of course, I could probably hit play now and the video plays. Yeah, very, very good. And of course, I can now start creating chapters. So what am I now going to do? So let's now go back into Bolt and let's now transcribe the video. Chapters get displayed. And then what I want to do is then, as I click on those times, and then want that video above to reflect. So it makes it a much more useful application, because I can test where those chapter points are currently set. So let's go and make a change in Bolt now. Okay, so I'm really trying to bend it here. So I've not really gave it much information to go on, but I'm sort of saying that, when a user selects a time in the chapter, so I'd like the embedded video to be replaced with the URL of the video, but play using the seconds of the JSON value for that particular chapter. Now, I'm kind of hoping that it kind of understands the video player that it's kind of embedding, and it understands how to connect the seconds of my JSON response to for the kind of the embedded player to kind of pick that up. So I have no idea about the embedded player that it's using. Again, I'm not really interested in that. As a no coder, I just kind of want it to kind of do its thing. So let's see what it makes of it, and we'll pop back into Stack Blitz and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so I've pasted the YouTube video in here. I put the transcript in the box. Let's transcribe the video. Chapters hopefully will be produced. I have no idea what it's going to do here, but I've got this like little play button now. So the question is, will that play the position of the video? No, it doesn't. So there's clearly a bit of a problem here in the URL, perhaps, that it's calling out to. So let's see if Bolt can sort that out. Okay, so there is the prompt then. So when I click on the time in the chapter, the video is not playing at the specific point. Make sure you are using the seconds from the JSON response, which looks like this. I'm kind of hoping it's going to pick this up. But again, I don't know if Bolt knows much about the implementation of the embedded player. But again, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll kind of remind it to go and do some kind of a correction, or at least attempt to try it and see what it comes up with. This is taking a little while, so I've got a feeling, there we go, it's going to come back. Now let's hit retry. And away it goes. So the video player is already using the seconds from the times. And the issue might be how we are handling the YouTube iframe URL. Let's modify the video player component. Okay, URL transcript is in. Let's transcribe. Wait for those chapters to be generated. There we go. Can we press on one of these? Let's try this. Nope, still not working. So there's clearly something there that's busted under the covers. It's likely to be, I think, the URL that's being called here. So let's try it one more time. Let's try giving it a little bit more direction. Okay, so a typical YouTube URL, which includes the seconds, is shown below. Make sure you are using something similar, with t being the query string parameter and the value being the number of seconds preceded by the s. So if I just paste that in here, so that's what a typical one looks like. You can see it says timestamp equals then the number of seconds with s at the end. So I'm kind of hoping that it will kind of just double check that it's actually doing that and it's putting s at the end. And so saying here about using the t parameter, it's going to crack that. So let's give that another whirl. I've been a little bit more specific there than I would like to, but let's go back to StackBlitz and see what it comes up with. Okay, so here we are again then. I pasted the URL in here and then my video started playing automatically, which is not ideal, but I put the transcript in here. Let's transcribe the video, and maybe that is all that is needed with our chapters. Let's now hit the play here at 1:49. Whoa, there we go, 1:49. We're in business. So yes, we can just click on these. You can see the time is updating, which is excellent. Let's keep myself quiet there. So excellent. So it looks like our application is kind of up running. I obviously had to be a little bit more descriptive here in doing this, but well, there we go. I think we're going to leave it there for this particular video. There, I'm going to cover Bolt a lot more on my channel. I'm going to kind of really level up some examples. I'm going to kind of do some super base integration with some Bolt examples. I'm going to create some more complex application. Hopefully put a bit of authentication in there as well to see how it handles that. So if you are enjoying the kind of the no-code space and you like these AI, these application generating tools, then please do subscribe to the channel. It'd be great to have you here, and of course we can build on everything we learn together and discover. So yeah, so until the next video, I'll see you soon.